Okay, who else is also not excited about this whole Zuckerberg versus Musk weird fight outside? I mean, one time they want to take it out on each other physically. They want to get physical with each other. And the next moment, Threads is on the map. And then it's a copy of Twitter. And then it's all of these things going on and lawsuits. So what? So is this Colosseum fight still happening or not? Are you going to go to take it out on the court or let your lawyers deal with it, right? Which one is it? Anywho, stay tuned to see which story or topic made it on to the show this week.
Welcome to the GBA Podcast, where guilty by association.
Welcome, everybody. I am really excited to be here this week. Why? I have no idea. But if y'all don't know me, I go by the name of Nesbrain. Yes, that's the name I go by on the internet. For those who know me, well, y'all know who I am and y'all know what time it is. For everybody else, welcome to the GBA Podcast. Guilty by Association meets a lot of gritty, blissful ambiguity. And ambiguity is what I stand on because it's really important to be versatile, to know about different things and be open and learn. You know, you can always say, I'm not interested after. Not before. So let's do the due diligence. Everybody, please make sure to find me on social media. I'm Ness_Rain. Rain spelled REIGN. For those who don't know, on TikTok you find me. You'll find me under Ness_knows_nothing because I really don't know nothing. So don't ask me. You find the GBA podcast also on the Nesbrain on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. 6th episode. Ooh, yes, we're doing great. We're doing great. Shout out to my editor. Love you. Shout out to everybody who is part of this. I love y'all. Shout out to everybody who wants to be part of this. Love you even more. And shout out to all of those that are hating true inspiration. Okay, all jokes aside, let's get the show started. And I have a Rudi Farias update. So last week we talked about Rudi. I mean, who doesn't know about Rudi yet? It's been all over the internet, all over the place. So yes, he was held hostage, so to speak, for 7 years while his mom told everybody, well, the police, that he was missing. Neighbors been hanging out with him, but they didn't know Rudi. They knew him as Dolph. Anywho, he's 25. He's back. Surprisingly found outside a church, battered, bruised, but he back. He back. And Carnell X, he joined to help everybody, activist down there in Houston. And he was literally part of the conversation or interview the police did with Rudi because Rudi wanted him present. And Carnell came out and he was really, really emotionally touched because he said that Rudi's mom wanted him to play daddy and share the bed with her. Have XCS with her, you know, all that stuff. But now this week Rudi came out and said that never happened. He said he never said that. So basically he's saying Carnell is a liar. Is Carnell a liar? He must be definitely an amazing actor if he act, because that man, when I came across that video and he was talking about it, I'm like, dang, bro. But I don't know. All of a sudden, Rudi says that his mom never essayed him or forced him. Yeah, she made him sleep in a bed with her, but what she did was more not respecting his boundaries. But what is not respecting your boundaries, bro? What boundaries could you have? I mean, your mom held you hostage. That is one boundary. The second boundary is she fed you some substances to make sure you are you obey, I guess. Okay, I get that. That's also sleeping in your mom's bed, whether she made you have XCS with her or not, doesn't really matter. That's going too far. You're like, you're 17 and you were 17, now you're 25. What? And she took you to work and you did the work for her. Yes. But it's just all in all a weird story. I'm not going to lie. Like, what? In 8 years, she's taking you to work. You're allowed to hang with the neighbors. I get it when you're like emotionally blackmailed or frightened or brainwashed. I get it. You're scared, but I don't know. It's a weird story, and there is plenty of weird stories out there at the moment. One story I'm really watching closely how it will unfold. I thought I was going back and forth with myself, thinking, should I talk about Carly Russell yet or not? No, not yet, not yet, not yet. But let's move on. Let's move right along and let's talk about TB, tuberculosis. What is tuberculosis? Tuberculosis is a disease that affects mainly your lungs, but it can also affect your brain, your kidneys, and your spine. And this is caused by a germ, and it can go from person to person. Tuberculosis can get really serious. If there's no treatment, it can even be deadly. So tuberculosis, there is one particular product, one particular substance, medication that helps. That's the Dacoline. And the Dacoline is actually owned by Johnson & Johnson. They patented it. The patent runs out July 18, 2023, but I guess they're going to repatent it. I don't know if that's even a thing or how you actually go about these kind of things. I would think this is the procedure, but it's really expensive. It comes allegedly up to $400 for 6 months. That's a lot of money for your average income person or low income person, and especially in different other nations that are generally not, earning good money. Johnson, so there was this big fight going on, and Johnson & Johnson agreed to have a generic med based on their original one, just like modified a little bit so they can go and get a secondary pattern for that medication, and they allowed it to be sold for a lower price in plenty other countries. But we're still talking about also like people, for example, in the Western world who still have a low income or just simply can't afford it, but suffer from it. So we need more than that. Like, people are saying Johnson & Johnson need to step up and really make the decision to either make the medicine cheaper, or it's also suggested that if Johnson & Johnson doesn't want to do this and doesn't want to give up monopoly on this particular medicine that is curing or helping with TB, they should just, like, the government should be able to buy that patent off of them, because owning monopoly about something, when somebody owns it and they're the only people who have the recipe or the know-how, and they own it and keep it away from the world. Yes, I see. This could be a big conflict of interest. So yeah, we definitely, this is the thing, like, we don't think about these kind of things. As long as we're not affected, we simply don't think about it. And I always say that, unfortunately, people are always willing to give it a thought or two, or do something, or show interest when it affects them. And I feel like it should never be like this. We should, of course, we can't know everything, we can't care about everything, I get that, but it's never wrong to look, outside of the box that you're in. By the way, I'm not in a box. I don't know why I said that. I really have no idea, but it's true. I just triggered myself. I don't like it when people try to box me into a particular thing or niche me down or whatever they call it. So yeah, I thought I'd just say this. And since we're talking about diseases, let's stay with another disease. But this is something that I personally find absolutely amazing and super great. And this proves once again also what I say, like the average person, like you and I, we're not heard, we're not listened to. If we have an idea, if we have a suggestion that needs to go to the right people pertaining to something in particular that maybe we discovered, found out, have questions about, I feel like not only scientists can figure out stuff. Sometimes somebody else might get lucky. Like in this case, a woman called Joy. Like Joy, she was married, and one day she started complaining and telling her husband off about not showering or brushing his teeth. His body odor was just like getting progressively worse, and she found it really hard to deal with it. And Joy, I commend you because she stayed with her husband. Like my tolerant level for smells or bad smells is so tiny to non-existing. Like I don't know how I would have dealt with it. Anywho, years later, her husband was diagnosed with Parkinson disease. And the Parkinson disease is when you have the tremors in your arm. I think it's mainly arms, right? Or is it also legs as well? I know one woman with Parkinson disease, and it's not nice. It's not nice. It's definitely decrease of, functionalities, body functionalities, brain, everything. It's really not cool. But so her husband was diagnosed with Parkinson disease, and then obviously, as a person, if you're the spouse of somebody with a disease, you're going to do your research, you're going to try and figure out things, you're going to go to events that are talking about, and that's what she did. So she went to, I believe it was a webinar or something. She participated in a webinar, or she went somewhere. I don't really quite know, but she always wanted to ask that question, why? Like I smelled that something was wrong with my husband. And I've been telling about, we just didn't figure out it was Parkinson. So I can smell Parkinson. That's what she told them. Can we not diagnose it via smells? Now, the Michael J. Fox Foundation, Michael J. Fox for Gen Z. If y'all don't know him, he was an actor, I think really big in the 80s. Oh gosh, the 80s. Scary. And the 90s, he played in Back to the Future, that kind of movies. Very short guy, but he was I guess he was a good actor. I don't know. I've never really was into him. Way too young, way not interested. I don't know. It was not somebody. But anywho, so he suffers from Parkinson. So he has a foundation. I think he had it really, really early on. And so this foundation now funded scientists to figure this out, with the smell. And what they did now is a skin swab. So you can do a skin swab, and because they tested Joy, they had her smell different type of t-shirts of people with Parkinson and people without. And she identified which ones were the Parkinson patients, So they developed a skin swab now, and this is how they're going to test it, because, certain diseases are really, 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 really difficult to test. And I learned a little while ago that blood tests are not everything. Actually, what they're saying is there should be skin swabs done to figure out certain or most of the things that are going on, like diseases or whatever, with a person. So Michael J. Fox, kudos, shout out to you. I think that's amazing. And shout out to Joy for believing in her theory with hardly anything to stand on, making the point, and actually being taken serious. And I love that. I really, 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 really love that. That's the blissfulness this week, y'all. Because that story, I thought that's really amazing. I just want to share it. With that, we're going to move right along and stay with some more health stuff. Yes, we're talking about health because health is very important. So for everybody who knows me just a little bit knows that I've been complaining about brain fog from last year when I got really, really sick towards the end of the year. And I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting everything. I don't remember this. I don't remember that. I'm all over the place. Oh my gosh, I forgot this now. And maybe people would ask me, yeah, remember this. And I'm like, well, really? Did that happen last week? Where was I? And you couldn't even ask me what I ate last week. But so I was kind of like, working on myself and trying to keep fit, and also like brain wise, I'm talking, and memory wise. And I ordered my mushroom mix complex, with 6 different mushrooms, and I feel like I got a whole brand new energy and drive, and I'm like, just like I don't know. I feel brand new almost. I'm not gonna lie. And I know that a lot of people are suffering from brain fog and suffering from memory loss and their forgetfulness and all of that stuff. But there is a ways to work on it. Like on the very first episode, I was talking about that the scientist or professor, she was a professor at a university, she said, and she could prove, she said, you know what, you got to do physical activities, you got to work out, you got to exercise. Yes, you have to exercise. And you know why? Because exercising boosts your blood flow to your brain, and then it increases the hippocampus. This is the part of the brain responsible for memory formation, so definitely make sure to get out a little workout. If you're not really the physical type of person or the sporty person, it's fine. Just have a 20-minute workout a day, or do it like 3 hours a week, something. But I feel like, like you can do something. There is no way that you cannot do nothing. 20 minutes is also too much? Come on now. And sometimes what we want to do is not always what we need. And sometimes what we need is not always pleasant to do, but it doesn't really matter because we want to stay sharp for a very long time. And that means you got to do something for it, because everything in life can only be reached by hard work, or if your daddy happens to own IKEA, or happens to be the CEO of BlackRock, or happens to own Apple, or I don't know. However, but for us people that are like everyday people, we need to work hard or get lucky. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Anywho, and besides physical workout, you can also, or you should also mentally train yourself, like mental workouts, like playing Scrabble, playing card games, maybe chess, read a book, learn a new language. Just, do something new to your brain and do it regularly, because it's just like you cannot work out once or twice and think, oh, I toned up now. I look snatched and I lost weight, and look at my arms, muscly and all of that. It doesn't work like that. And it's the same with a mental workout. You got to stay on it, and you got to be consistent. Okay. Consistency is everything, even when it comes to a brain work. Okay. So with that said, let me move on. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know Hermes. And y'all know the infamous, controversial Birkin bag. I just recently, a few days ago, found out about Jane Berkin, the back in the day successful French and English actress and singer. So, go on this journey with me. Picture this. Sometime in the 80s, she was flying from Paris to London, I believe. And she was always walking around wherever she went, whether to the beach, to a club, to a dinner, to wherever, with a basket, because she felt comfortable with that basket, putting all her stuff in. Anywho, so even on that flight, she had a beloved basket with her. She tried to put it, in that little compartment at the top. Everything tumbled down, and she was pissed, okay? Because now she's creating kind of like some type of, traffic on the plane because now she has to pick up everything. But there was a nice gentleman next to her, Jean-Louis, and Jean-Louis helped her. And then he said something like, "Oh, well, this bag, whatever." And she goes, "Oh, well, there is no nice bag that could fit all my stuff in." So on that flight, she told him what she would like, and he said, "Hey, I would love to make a bag and call it your name." So of course she was super flattered. She agreed. First bag was released in 84. That's how long ago. This Birkin bag ranging from 8K to 100K have been out and about. And Hermes is really like, you cannot just buy a Birkin bag. You need to have a relationship with Hermes. You need to order it, and you need to buy other stuff from them first, and then get to know you, and then at some point you are allowed to buy a Birkin bag. Okay. So the interesting part is in 2015, Jane Berkin contacted Hermes after finding out how much the crocodiles have to suffer in order for this bag to be produced. So shout out to Peter. Peter, who are actually always ridiculous sometimes, like they make some ridiculous claims, like the owner not the owner, is it the founder, or is it just like the president or whatever this Ingrid woman is? She was like, when I'm dead, I want to be barbecue. Really? Like, hilarious. Not. Anywho, so she wanted her name off that bag because she wanted no association with torture against crocodiles. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. I gotta get some orange juice, and I feel like I'm losing my voice, but I'm not. I'm good. Moving right along. One more game. So we're right now in Dubai, in the UAE, the Arab Emirates, and we're talking about influencer and online personality Tiara Young Allen. Now, Tiara is an influencer. She's out there on the internet making content about trucking. All right, she's a truck driver. She's a successful truck driver, and she says that truck drivers can't be feminine. So there's her, and there's a bunch of other people, other girls, looking all hot, baddies and whatever y'all want to call them. And they're in the trucking industry. They're in the trucking business, and they just want to say, hey, you can be feminine and you still can be a trucker. Okay. So Tiara wanted to enjoy some time away from home. So she went on a vacay with a friend. And they went to Dubai, where a lot of people go, to have that luxurious vacays. But the thing in Dubai is there's laws, and these laws might be stricter than in other places. And every place have their own rules and regulations. So before you travel somewhere, it's always wise to look a little bit into it. Don't get intimidated and scared because a million and one people been to almost everywhere in this world, I guess. So there is no need for you to be afraid. But sometimes, unfortunately, things do go wrong. And also in this case, so Tiara, she was out there with a friend. They rented a car, got into an accident. Luckily, nothing happened to the girls. But the car was removed from the location, and with all the belongings of Tiara and her friend. So the next day, Tiara goes back to the rental company to retrieve her stuff, her wallet, her passport, whatever else she had in the car. And then she got into a fight with the manager of the rental company, because allegedly he was rude to her, yelled at her, followed her out of the office, didn't want to give her the stuff. And she yelled back, which is an absolute normal reaction. Okay, it's a reaction. Sometimes when a stranger yells at us, and when we feel, even if it's not a stranger, but if we feel we're in the right, and especially like you're trying to withhold my stuff, I need my wallet, I need my documents, like I need my stuff. What are you doing? Like, okay, yeah, your car was in an accident. I get it. There's insurance. So what do you want from me? Like, give me my stuff and let me go. It's bad. It's bad what happened. I'm sorry about it, but there is no need to make this scene bigger and whatnot. Next thing she knows is she was arrested. This already happened in April, y'all. So she been over there in custody, I think, waiting to be prosecuted. And I just want to say, doing my research, what I found out, and that's really crazy to me. And I feel like, the UAE, they do great things, but y'all got to crack down on those corruption, on those corrupted police that people are talking about, okay? Because this seems to be a huge issue. And the second thing is, they say it just happens a lot when rental companies try to intimidate, especially tourists, because they want to cash in on the insurance claim, and they also want to cash in from the intimidated tourists because now they're scared, and obviously you don't want the police to be called in a foreign country, and more so even in Dubai, because you hear like little things can get you locked up there. And this is what a lot of people want to avoid, so they just pay them some type of bribe money. And I feel like UAE, y'all gotta crack down on these people. This is a total no-go. Like, y'all doing so much for tourism and all of that, and then you're gonna just like have people because honestly, if I'm sorry, but if that happened to me somewhere, I'm never coming back, and I'm never recommending your country, and no matter how great it is, to anybody else, because that stuff is absolutely scary and it's an absolute no-go. In a country that is more stricter to intimidate foreigners, so you can make some extra money. Like, how greedy can you be? It's crazy to me that this happens. And, and I have to say, I'm ashamed of this. I'm really, really ashamed of this, because I feel like, I don't actually want to say it. Let me not say it. But I can just say I'm ashamed, okay? I don't wish this on anybody. I hope that we can put this story out, like, let Tierra Young Ellen go. She was charged with screaming in public, by the way. Like, I have no more to say. I have no more to say. It's absolutely insane to me. So I'll say it again. Let it go. All right. So I came across a quote from Richard Branson that was talking to myself one more again. He said, EQ, a higher EQ, is more important for success than an IQ. EQ, emotional intelligence. Okay. So I thought about it, and yes, I agree. Emotional intelligence allows you and gives you the ability to manage feelings and emotions, understand them, describe them, put them in place, read a person, read energy. I don't know. There is nothing more. I don't know the right word, because if I say something, it's going to be offensive. So I don't know the right word. But what I want to say is, I don't know anyone more annoying, and that's just me being nice, because the word that's in my head would be maybe a little bit too cray. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it online, but anywho, There is nothing more annoying than a person who has none whatsoever emotional intelligence, none whatsoever. So yeah, Richard Branson said, emotional intelligence is more important for success than just intelligence, you know? And yeah, he's right. You know, like IQ gives you the ability to fix stuff, solve problems, you know, logical thinking, understand issues. I get that. That's amazing. And you need that. But you need to find a way to align it with your emotional intelligence, you know, and you need to figure out a way to be emotionally intelligent. I don't know if you, that I should have looked up. Actually, I should have looked into it. Can you train yourself to be emotionally intelligent? Maybe you could train yourself to be more observant and more understanding. I don't know if you can, but it's definitely, I do agree that it's more important. Y'all can let me know in the comments on YouTube or somewhere what y'all think. I would love to know. And yes, it's almost the end of this chapter. So I have my random fact this week, and my random fact comes with a motivational story that I love, 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 love. And I want to share that story, and especially if there's anybody who has like a child or a sibling with a mental deficits and mental disabilities, like maybe autism, maybe ADHD or whatever, you know. So okay, so it's easy. I'm all over the place. Let me start with the random fact first before I go into the story. So allegedly, the first time music was recorded was around 1876 or 77, because 1876 was when the phonograph cylinder, a device that they recorded on, invented by Thomas Edison, was built, and in 1877 he patented it. So crazy. Like, I really wonder when, this is so interesting with the patterns. It's like weird. Like, I always have this weird notion of, and this is so prejudiced, the people in the 17th century or 18th century, they were nowhere near ready, you know, when it comes to certain business things like patterns and copyright. I mean, when did all of this come into play? Yeah, that's an interesting thing to look up. So yes, the first time music was recorded on a phonograph cylinder was in 1876. Thomas Edison, here is the story. So Thomas Edison, who also invented the light bulb, clever guy, huh? He invented a music recording or a recording device, and then he invented the light bulb. Was it the phone as well? The landline, old school, but yeah. I still have my landline, but I haven't used my landline in months. Like me transitioning from landline to mobile phones, because I used to love my landline. I'm like, if I'm home, y'all call me on my landline. Don't call me on my mobile phone. But yo, I don't know. It took me years to transition, but I made it a bunch of months ago. So okay, here the motivational story. So Thomas Edison, when he was a child, when he was going to school, one day his teacher gave him a letter to give to his mom. So when the mom read the letter and he asked her, so what does the letter say? What does school want? She told him school said that you're way too smart and you can't go back to them. You have to be homeschooled. What the letter really said was, your son is a slow learner and he can no longer come to our school. So basically they kicked him out of school because according to them, he was a slow learner. His mom not telling him is so amazing to me. Like, she understood, okay, you know what, I don't want to, and this is the crazy part, you know, when we talk about, you know, mental health and all of that, it's so amazing that she was so woke back then to understand, okay, if I tell my son the truth, that's going to demotivate him, it's going to break him. So she told him something that uplifted him, I guess, even though he might have been sad that he couldn't go back to school and be with his friends if he had any, or participate in, just the normal school thing that every kid, like, be, part of society, part of the school kids, part of, that kind of thing. But she homeschooled him, and look what happened. Not much later, after everybody was calling him a genius, well, yeah, that teacher, I wonder if that teacher actually was like, oh, okay, maybe he's just not interested in what we're teaching. He's just interested in something else. And a lot of us have that. Like, a lot of us, when we go to school, most of us, it's very hard to be good in every single subject. So expecting that of a child is absolutely crazy. But we also have these things where a lot of people are slow